Okay, hello everyone. This is an Arsenal fan circle extra. Just an extra chill and chat discussion. So as we wait for people, hopefully to catch on to what we're doing, Tony, uh, and Taib, if you're in here still, come on, lads. All right, we're up and flying now. The plane has taken off. It's going to be a short hop and a skip over some small part of sea somewhere, and yeah, we'll land pretty soon. We'll do about an hour, um, just as long as we think is necessary to fix Arsenal. Can we fix Arsenal, Tony?
Who knows?
I
We
don't think
can.
we'll. We hope as fans that Arsenal will fix themselves sooner or later. So, Ty, big up yourself
Let
and
me put it this way: we can fix Arsenal, but can Arsenal fix Arsenal?
can Arsenal fix Arsenal? And I think it's important, really, uh, maybe to give the new regime a chance. I'm asking to give the regime a chance. I'm gonna wait till the end of October. I've been saying that before, so yeah, we're on it. We're up and flying now, and as Taib said, Arsenal will not get fixed. LOL. It's funny, Taib. As fans, we can see the issues and the problems, but you know, I'm a fan of Arteta still, Tony. I want him to do well. I want him to succeed. But at the same time, I recognize the mistakes that he made last season. And the biggest mistake for me was we're going to talk about it. Granit Xhaka as left back instead of Tierney. When Tierney got injured and David Luiz got injured at the tail end of last season, he had a critical decision to make whether to stick with Granit Xhaka for a semi final against Unai Emery. Hi Darren, or to go with the tried and trusted for the last season. But Bukayo Saka had been playing as wing back, um, and I think we would have been defensively more sound and maybe a little bit better going forward as well, with Bukayo Saka as wing back. Just so we could have won the Europa League, Tony. We could have won the Europa League last season. I believe it.
And I don't know why Arteta waited until after Rio Cup to put Saka back there instead of Zaka. We seen Zaka was slow. They had speed on that side. Saka would have definitely helped us, and most likely we would have got through to the championship, whether we won that or not. It's a different story, but we should at least beat Villarreal.
So
And
Taib here is he shipped my name with Arteta's. Ray Teta. Come on. Goes well together. LOL. So this is a chill and chat session. We're going to talk about all things Arsenal. We're definitely going to mention Ben White because we have to bring some good news as well, Darren. I'm so happy Ben White, same surname as Darren. Emil Smith Rowe extended contract with the number 10. I'm so happy. And listen, didn't have time to get the word out on this show. So on your socials, if you guys could retweet, do all that good stuff, get the awareness out here. So strange seeing daylight when it's past midnight here. LOL. Yeah, and it's just getting dark here on the East Coast for me, Darren, on the East Coast of the United States. But you're out west. You're out Midwest, Tony, in Oklahoma,
South Central,
Power Central. And it's a little bit brighter there. How many more hours of daylight do you have, Tony?
about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half, and that should just cover what we're going to do here. We're going to do a little over an hour. Uh, the people in the chats, you are the stars tonight. We're going to chat about some things. You're going to chat about some things. This is Arsenal Fan Circle. I intended the name to be a circle that includes everyone in the chats as well. So pull up a chair, just like you're in the pub. Grab a beer. Come on over to the table and let's discuss Arsenal. And throw things in the chats. We're going to discuss them. But you know, I guess we'll talk about do you want to go with the good news in Ben White, or do you want to start with Granit Xhaka, Tony?
Let's get the bad news out of the way.
Well, the bad news is obviously Granit Xhaka, Roma are not going to uh, fork up the money that we're asking for Granit Xhaka. So therefore, Jose Mourinho, who I believe knows the English Premier League, knows Arsenal very well, he's messing with us a little bit. He's toying with us. He's trying to lowball Arsenal because this is the way we've been rolling, Tony. You look at things in the last 5, 6, 7 years. We've spent an awful lot of money and we haven't recouped any, hardly any money apart from we can name them right. Oxlade, Chamberlain, and it won't be. Did we
Yep.
get any money from any other players leaving us? No decent money,
Now,
right?
since 2012, we haven't signed any players that we made a profit off of.
Now, here's a question from Tybe. Will Emil Smith Rowe and Saka vastly improve next season, and can they score on a more regular basis, Tony?
I think
Yes.
Smith Rowe can, and I definitely think Saka can. I think he needs to be played more in the middle for him to score, though. He looked good there for England. I think he can score goals if he's given a chance. Like I said, I don't think any of us can predict what prediction or predict where he'll be playing in 3 years, what position.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Lumber Camp, thanks for joining us as well. Tybe, I do think Saka will improve. I think he got something like 5 goals and 3 assists last season. And, that was a breakout season for him. But his numbers, while he carried us, his numbers in the Premier League were a little bit light for me. 5 goals and 3 assists. You actually would have thought that a player like Bukayo Saka would have given us more. He actually did give us a lot on the field, but in terms of goals and assists, Tony, 5 goals and 3 assists, he can definitely improve on that. And we all know the areas that Saka needs to improve in, right? The um, the finishing when he gets one on one with a goalkeeper.
That's kind of what's happened when you play every position. It take a while to adjust to those attacking roles, especially more centrally. I think he'll develop it.
Yeah, and in terms of Emil Smith Rowe, we did a podcast on a double header on Thursday night. We did a lot about Emil Smith Rowe, charting his progress through the academy, under 18s, under 23s, and the senior team. And he scored goals. He's developed in every facet, every step towards the first team. Saka, as we said, Tybe, went straight into the first team. I think he probably bypassed the under 23s, right, Tony?
Yep, he's went straight into it.
Yeah, because he recognized the talent that he had. I think Emil Smith Rowe, I think he scored 2 goals and assisted 4 in the 6 months that he's been with us. So if you add that up, that's 14 goals and assists between the two of them, and one of them played half of a season. So definitely, Tybe, I think that they will improve, vastly improve. I don't know. I would be targeting maybe Saka to get closer to 10 goals and maybe 5 assists. Tony, do you think that would be about right? 15 goal involvements for the season for Saka?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there, 10 assists, 5 goals sounds about right.
Yeah. Whereas Emil Smith Rowe is going to be that more of a provider and less of a finisher. Um, so I think Emil Smith Rowe might chip in with 5 or 6 goals.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of white noise there. So I'll continue through here. I think about 5 goals for Emil Smith Rowe and maybe 4 or 5
Technical
assists.
difficulties.
Yeah. Darren wants the coffee. Well, I'm sat in bed here, so I'll pull up in my bed. And Darren doesn't want the coffee. So listen, this is a chill session. Just thought I want to give a shout out as well. A couple of people. Gary is helping move his daughter into college, so he's busy moving them in.
He's busy eating lobster in Maine. He's not moving.
He's lobster is part of the deal. Lobster is part of it. and Stan the man is busy moving house, so we know that is an involved thing, moving things
For the
and
fourth time in Vancouver.
putting things in boxes and taking them out of boxes. Tony, it gets a
He
bit
should
old.
be good at it now. That's his fourth move in Vancouver.
That could be another avenue of work that he goes into, Stan. You know, you could be a mover. You know, you're getting pretty good at it right now. You could actually get paid to do it, Stan. So, Darren says Xhaka can just go now, and Lumbercamp. Thanks. Like the video, please, everyone. And that should go without saying. If you have a boarding pass, if you're entering the gate, you hand in the boarding pass, you hit that like button, and you take your seat on
What if they jump a turnstile?
Arsenal Fan Circle Airways. This is what we're doing. It's a short flight tonight, but I think we're going to have fun. It's going to be a good one. I think they will. I think Emil Smith Rowe will really perform, but I'm just being biased as he's my favorite current player. And me too. If you, Darren, I went on a little bit about Emil Smith Rowe and Saka. We dedicated a podcast to them on Thursday night, so catch up on that if you can. Um, Darren said, "Lol, that's good, Tony. No burn in your mouth." And listen, to keep bringing the topics, we'll keep talking about them. And of course, we're going to have a show tomorrow as well. We've got Chelsea coming up. Um, how do you feel about the Chelsea game, Tony? For me, I'm not caring about the result. It's going to be another game where fitness has to help the team for 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's just a glorified training session against other opponents.
It's gonna,
Gives more players fitness. Hopefully, we'll see some more of the youth players. We haven't seen too many of the youth players. I don't know if White will get a run out or not since he's in training today. Be interesting to see if he gets
wanted
a.
to talk to you about the training. We all probably saw the training video, and I saw a lot of people remarked rightly so about Kieran Tierney. He looked the part in training, and he's starting to look like a captain, in all but having the armband on his biceps.
Yeah, hopefully that was part of his contract since it was part of Uba's contract. He definitely deserves it. I don't know who deserves it more. He cut his summer short to come work with the team, probably work on his fitness too. And hopefully he has a strong campaign and doesn't get injured and stays with us for the entire season.
Yeah. Tybe has said, Ray, can you start a transfer stream and talk about potential incomings or something along those lines? Yeah, we can definitely do that, Tybe. Definitely. I just wasn't sure. You see a lot of people doing that, and they bring out all of the links, some of them reasonable, some of them unreasonable. But definitely, Tybe, appreciate your support always. Um, that's definitely something we can look into, and maybe even tomorrow we'll dip in a little bit on that transfer talk tomorrow after the Chelsea game. I just don't want the same high hype that we did on Willian and get disappointed in terms of Ben White. Yeah, so the training video, I saw Ben White. And they were putting the camera was on him a lot, Tony, and he seemed to be pretty quiet. He didn't strike me as a vocal kind of player. If he's going to be a leader, he's going to be one of those leaders on the pitch that will be leading by example and not one who's going to hand out bollockings on the field.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much more vocal we need back there. We got Tierney that's vocal, Gabriel's vocal. Wish Leno was more vocal, but I think it's okay if White isn't very vocal. Just goes out and does his job and gets the coordination with the players to know what he's going to do.
The understanding.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely understanding. Uh, you know, essentially, Tony, he's going to be replacing David Luiz, and as fans, we're going to be looking for the good and the bad in that. We know David Luiz was good with communicating and being able to keep everybody in position. We also know that David Luiz had his moments, right? So,
He's
listen,
good at getting yellow cards and red cards.
yeah, he did have those moments, right? Conceding penalties, conceded more than a few for us. David Luiz did, but I also think he was pretty essential in us winning the FA Cup, along with a couple of other key individuals like Aubameyang and players like Ainsley Maitland-Niles that got us through. So if Ben White can be more secure in his defending, but he'll probably be less vocal. That will maybe allow Kieran Tierney the latitude to maybe grow a little bit more as a captain on the field if he's, like I said, not going to get the armband right here.
Yeah, I think Tierney and Gabriel will be doing most of the communication since White will probably be carrying up the ball further, getting it to Party or whoever's up ahead of him.
So I kind of like what we've done so far in the window. We've gotten Tavage, which is good cover for Kieran Tierney. We're going to have something similar if Kieran Tierney's not playing, and we do absolutely hope that Kieran Tierney can play closer to 30 games in the league this season. Um, we got Lakonga, and a lot of people are bigging up
Zombie.
Sambi Lakonga. I'm going to continue to call him Lakonga, and you're
He
going to
wants to be
continue.
called Zombie.
He does want to be called Sambi. It just sounds like zombie to me, Sambi. And then, but also he sounds like Santi, Santi Cazorla. If he could be something like a Santi Cazorla, wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, it's weird how defensive Carzola was, but he could still do everything offensively too. It's nice to have that.
Yeah, and then to round that out, the third signing we got is Ben White. As I was saying with Gary, relax. We had a bet till July 16th. Essentially, he was in on July 16th. It was announced there. So I'm going to say we had three on the board by July 16th. And as Gary points out, I'm looking at the date now. 15 days later, we haven't signed anyone else. So definitely want to see the next candidate coming through the doors.
It's I don't know if we're gonna wait until we get some more sales to get anybody in, but we're being tracked with quite a few players, so hopefully we get somebody in by the end of next week.
Now, Tony, maybe not naming names, but which position would you like to see filled next?
Probably need just a regular out and out central defensive midfielder. Party really isn't that. He's
A
more of a
partner
box
for
to box guy.
a partner for Partey, as it were.
Yeah, or somebody that can play there by themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still sort of thinking about Basuma. I put a tweet out earlier. Wanted Nicola Pepe the January before we got him in the summer. I wanted Partey. Was pretty confident about Partey all along. Pepe was a surprise to me, and we got him. Didn't think we'd get Pepe, but I definitely wanted him. Partey, we got in the door. And for me, the third one, for me, it would be Basuma. If we got Yves Basuma from Brighton, I think it might be difficult to actually go and get another Brighton player. Will they be willing to lose a second big player for them this season? Um, what's the Brighton manager's name? He's done a good job. It slips my mind.
I can't remember either.
It's just the Brighton manager. He's done a good job with that team, and they've done well, and they're a dangerous team. If they've lost Ben White, they could probably replace that. But then to go and lose Yves Bissouma would be difficult for them to replace. And obviously, I'm not caring about Graham Potter. There you go. Thanks, Taib. It was. I want to say it was on the tip of my tongue, but I could have went another 20 minutes and not remember that. Graham Potter has done a good job there. Do you think they'll be willing to part with Bissouma? Is that something maybe it's there, ready, and waiting for us to trigger if needs be?
I think it's kind of one of those that's there if we need to do it. It's kind of emergency break glass type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think no matter what, it'd probably be during the last couple of weeks of a transfer window. I don't see it happening before the season starts.
Yeah, I've and Darren wants a right back, obviously, of the caliber of Lee Dixon. That would be wonderful if we got that. I just think, Darren, I just think we will be, sticking with a Callum Chambers, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think Callum Chambers done pretty good this season. I'm actually, he's not where we want to be. He's okay for this coming season. Darren said, wait till Vieira gets into managing Crystal Palace. I then buy some players from there. Working with Vieira would be beneficial. Just my opinion. And Darren, I said a couple of weeks ago in a podcast that I think Vieira has taken a very decent path back to the Premier League. He went away to the US, got some MLS experience. He got more experience in France. Didn't always go well for him, Tony, in France, but now he's landed back in Crystal Palace, and we're going to be interested to see what he does this season. For me, Crystal Palace are going to be my second team.
You gotta watch him at Selhurst Park, don't you, Ray?
I'm going to watch him at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, but for
Tony and I have some Selhurst Park history.
just a little,
Just a
it
little
will
bit.
continue to drag out.
And you know
But for
what?
me,
Vieira is going to be right there on the doorstep if things go wrong for Arteta.
uh, to me, Vieira did good in France for first year. The second year, they changed ownership, had some injuries. They were still sixth or seventh in the table when he got fired. I think Premier League experience would be good for him. The only negative is the last two times we've hired a manager, neither time we've went and talked to Vieira, according to Vieira.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think he's building a case now, Tony. He's said that publicly, and now he's building the case. He's going to go work at Selhurst Park in the Premier League, a league that he has played in before. So the Premier League, while it may have advanced in the 15, 16, 17 years since he's been there, it may have advanced. He does have a working knowledge of the Premier League, and that may stand him in good stead as well. Let's keep track of the chat here. Darren said, wait till Vieira gets into managing Crystal Palace, then he buys some players from there. Working with Vieira would be beneficial, just my opinion. Taib said, would love to see another player in the Abu Dhabi mold, but without injuries. He was a monster. Diaby was a brilliant, brilliant player. If we even had a Lakanga Sambi head towards an Abu Dhabi type of play, it would be brilliant. I still remember Abu Dhabi playing up at Anfield. He bossed the game, Tony.
Yeah, I mentioned him Thursday when we were talking about Sambi. He, Diaby was probably more defensive than Vieira, and he'll probably be a little bit more defensive than Sambi is, but he could still carry the ball up if needed. He's a great
Yeah,
player, but the thing is he had 22, 23 injuries, and I forgot how many surgeries and everything that
yeah,
possibly
yeah.
could go wrong went wrong. Yeah,
Those were in the years probably when the feeling in the league was that you could go and be physical with Arsenal. Probably Sam. Why we hate Sam Allardyce a lot is because he was one of those who propagated that feeling that Arsenal was all soft, southern softies. Um, Abu Dhabi was really good at beating the press as well, and players like that, and even Jack Wilshere, they always want to hold on to the ball to the last second, and unfortunately, when they do that, they invite crunching tackles in on them. But that's the way they play, Tony. That type of player.
yeah, definitely with Wilshire, he'll play that way. Held on to the ball too long, cut his career short. Really,
It's kind of like asking a leopard to change their spots. They're just not going to do that. As Darren said, Vieira will work well, I think. Then slowly wait till Arteta goes. In comes Vieira. Darren, in an ideal world, I do hope Arteta figures it out, and he could be with us for another 2 or 3 years. And in that time, Vieira will have done a lot of good things in the Premier League, and he'll be ready maybe to step in as well. But I know there's other managers out there. I'm not just saying Vieira is going to walk into the Arsenal job next. We shall see what happens. I think that job is there for Patrick Vieira, at some point in time in his future. Lumbercamp said, "Thanks for joining us as well, Lumbercamp." Um, Chambers, Bellerin, and Cedric are Southampton level right backs. I can't disagree with that. But I do think that Chambers, he does provide a lot of assists. He is able to cross the ball. Cedric is very, very adequate, and I say that term loosely, just adequate cover in the right back position. And we do hope, obviously, Hector is going to move on to.
And we do have Niles if we gotta resort
Yeah,
back to that.
yeah. In a transfer window, lumber camp, where we have a lot of other issues to solve. I'm gonna say right back right now, unless we had another 200 million somewhere. Right back is not an issue that we're going to address in this window. It will be a central attacking midfielder as cover for Emil Smith Rowe, or competition for Emil Smith Rowe.
And
Plus,
probably two more central midfielders,
at
goalkeeper.
least at least one, I'm gonna say, and maybe even a striker. Something might happen with and our striking situation is desperate. We have a lot of decent options, but no brilliant options that have been tried and trusted and tested, except for Lacazette, and he's going to get you goals in the teens. I know Tony will argue if he gets 32, 34 game starts, he's going to break 20 goals,
Yep.
but he hasn't done it as of yet. But he is the most
I don't know
consistent.
if he's gotten that many starts yet.
He is the most consistent, most reliable of our strikers, and I do hope that Oba is not dizzy this season. I hope we don't get dizzy Oba, just sleepwalking through the season. That would be disgraceful. As Lumbercamp goes on to say, sell on and buy Aaron's and get a cheap keeper, maybe one of PSG's. I think PSG they're down to about 8 goalkeepers now, so we definitely should, we should have got Ariola before West Ham, or West Ham nipped in there, and they are. We have a few teams that are,
That was a tit job, Ray. They snuck in there with a tit job.
we have a few teams around us that we need to slap around this season, Tony. Uh, Disgraceful what happened last year. Aston Villa, Wolves, Everton, and West Ham, Tottenham. These are 5 teams we should be slapping around this season and getting
Yeah,
them up.
we said it last season, especially since two of those teams were relegation teams the year before fighting. Aston Villa should have been knocked out, but it is what it is. VAR screwed up. They played.
It's got to be a change. There's got to be a change this season. We cannot lose to Aston Villa twice, Everton twice, Wolverhampton Wanderers twice. They're a mess. So, listen, I see better times ahead, but I'm realistically optimistic. I think that's what I would like to call myself. And definitely, we could go and get Aaron's if the money's there, we could go do it. The bigger issue, Tony, is we're not able to move players on.
Yeah, that's the main issue right now. We're struggling with Bellerin, but it sounds like we're going to finally get a loan deal with him, which might open up to us sneaking in and getting their striker since Enter wants to sell. They need the money. That'd be a great. I don't want to lose Lacazette, but Atletico Madrid wants him, then we'll sell him and go in there and swoop up at Inter.
So, Tony, let me ask you what Lacazette. The situation is, for me, every player has uh, a point at which you're willing to sell. Right? You're not going to keep Lacazette at any cost. So, the club will have and you will have a valuation of which you're going to want to do business for
Yeah,
Lacazette.
and I totally disagree with the club's evaluation of £15 million.
Yeah, yeah, I
Way
agree.
too low.
I agree with you. I think 20 for me is the bar for Lacazette, and I want to say the same thing for Granit Xhaka. 20 million. Step up 20 million for a player who's performed well in the Euros with Switzerland. You know, some people would say performed heroics to beat that French team, to inspire his Swiss team forward, and show them some leadership. And 20 million. It's not. We actually are undervaluing Jack at probably at 20 million.
Yeah, because we're trying to get this 20 million euros, which is about 17, 18 million pounds.
Hmm.
I think that's a little low for him, but the price we're willing to sell for him, I'd go ahead and do it. Get us 100,000, 110,000 a week off the books so we can go and get a better replacement for him. Or get Basuma so he can play central defensive mid and Party can go be Party and go box to box.
Yeah, as Darren said, I've got no hate for Arteta, but I just hope he does better and makes better choices in this coming season. He's going to live and die by doing that, Tony and
Hi,
Stan.
Sam the Mover.
Stan, we were
Stan the
just
Mover.
saying we were just shouting you out at the start of the podcast. I think you're taking boxes, you're putting things in boxes, you're taking things out of boxes,
For the
and
fourth time in Vancouver.
so maybe that could be a job for you in the future. You could actually, um, you know, financially gain out of doing that. But anyway, big up yourself, Stan. I hope you're doing well, and I hope the move is going okay. And you know, in life, just take out of the box what you really need. That's all we ask. Leave some things in the box. It's okay. Um, Stan the man. Why is Odegaard getting so many detractors all of a sudden? He had a sparse 6 month loan and looked like he'd been playing with us all season. He's only 22, and we think he could be something special. So I'm going to let you go at that first, Tony. Odegaard. Why are so many people down on Odegaard?
I don't know. I think they just want a big name signing. To them, Odegaard's not big enough signing.
That's
I said
exactly.
it Thursday that he looked Premier League experienced already. He's got it now. I think he's got a high ceiling. I want to spend my money for Madison. He could get Odegaard in or War. I'd be okay with that. I don't know what that would do with Willock and Smith Rowe. What roles that would give him. But I don't know what the fans base deal with him. I think it's just not a big enough name. But he started off youngest player in Madrid history to play. I think he actually is a big name. Just people want the newest, hottest name, and he ain't it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Odegaard is going to be, if not now, he's going to be a bigger name than he is right now. I think while Real Madrid are trying to figure out what they want to do with him, because I don't think they know yet. I don't think a lot of squads, even in the Premier League, ourselves included, or squads in Europe, know what they're going to do with all of their players because of, dare I say it, the circumstances we're all in this world. There's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of money swishing around. Uh,
And
we need
now
to,
he's sounding frustrated and wanting out of there since he really hasn't gotten too many assurances from him. Their price tag supposedly 35 million. I'd
yeah.
spend it on a heartbeat. I'd fly over there, pick him up, carry his bags, anything he wants for 35 million.
So yeah, we had Odegaard with us since January, and I thought that his loan went quite well. He meshed really, really well with also Emil Smith Rowe in the team. So we know how that dynamic is going to work. We know how they mesh together on the field. And listen, everyone else in the chats, let us know what you think about Stan's comment here. Uh, do you think Odegaard is the player we should target as that central attacking midfielder? Or do you think we should go Hollywood style and spend all that cash on Madison? I tend to agree with you, Tony. I think Madison is the media darling. He is the flavor of the month. I mean, and his stats don't always back up what people are saying about him. Um, he didn't have a great return in terms of goals and assists last season.
Yeah, Odegaard's a known quantity. I think he'll be better with a more training with us, getting more used to the players. to me, if you're spending 60 million, 65 million, you're spending that on a striker, somebody that's going to make a difference. Because let's face it,
Difference maker. Yeah,
Lacazette and Uba's both old. They're not needed replaced anyway. You're going to be spending it this summer. Spend it now. You can go to, like I said, go to Enter, give them 50 million plus Bellerin, whatever you want to do. Works for me. Sounds good.
yeah. Michael Mills, a new name around here. We always love to see new names as well. So hopefully you join the family here.
And
You have
Martinez is who I've been talking about.
Lautaro Martinez would be an unbelievable signing. I hope we can pull it off. So, I mean, I think that we are trying to pull out some kind of a big deal as well to get the fans excited. I just don't know if that's the right way to go. And coming back to the Odegaard here, we know what he is. We know what he did. It worked quite well with Arsenal last season. If we can get some more service to our strikers, we can score some more goals. And obviously, we have that situation where we have two very experienced strikers in Aubameyang, the club captain, and Lacazette. Um, and apparently, you can't have an unbiased chat with Tony about Lacazette because of the mere mention of his name will give him a slight boner. Tony, you're right though on your predictions from last season. You did say that Lacazette would score the majority of the goals.
And I
Uh,
said that way back in like July.
yeah, yeah, you did. And BM Dolphin is back here from Thursday night. Thanks for joining us again. The YouTube notifications are working perfectly. People are coming in. Love to
And
see.
for Stan, probably missed it when I said I would sell him to Atletico Madrid if we can get
What?
Martinez, whatever you say his last name.
Yeah, yeah. So Tony's not against moving on some of the even less than deadwood, semi deadwood would be.
He's not semi-dead, Wood. He was our leading scorer last year.
Yeah, he is, but he is getting on in years. So Lacazette,
But nobody's touching Chambers. He has to stay. Lacazette can go.
Chambers, I think, is safe for another season, whether we like it or not. Some of us like it, some of us hate it, and some of us can live with it. I'm in the
Some
camp.
of us have a boner, like Stan said.
I'm in the camp where I can live with it. BM Dolphin said, best player Arsenal can get is Renato Sanchez. Tony.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Tybe said Arsenal's linked with Martinez. They will probably end up signing Danny Ings or Abraham. Abraham. Probably very true. I mean, these signings from Italian teams are very difficult. Locatelli, he was just always has been is waiting. He's still waiting for Juventus, I think. Odegaard is the best loan we've had in years. Benny Hume, Kallstrom, Ceballos are all.
Yeah, Real Madrid owe us one after Ceballos' last season. They owe us a favor.
Julio Baptista, remember him?
Yep.
Gary's joined us here. I hope the move is going well, Gary, up there. And you've probably had some,
How many pounds of lobster have you had?
at least one lobster sandwich at this point in time. Hello, Ray, Tony, in chat room. So, yeah, listen, this is a chat and chill session here. So, you bring the comments and we'll talk about them. We're going to touch on Granit Xhaka, touch on Ben White. We're not going to solve everything Arsenal. We know the problems. The club has to fix the problems. They got to get better at moving players on, Tony. They got to get better at signing players. And
Yeah,
what?
right now we, including academy players, we've had about 12 players out, either loaned or sold or contract expired. 3 players in, so 72 million spent, $0 in.
In hindsight, we shouldn't have bought Lacazette. What does Tony think about that? Should have stuck with Giroud, not an upgrade. Um, yeah, I mean, they actually, you would say Drew is able to interplay with players around him. Lacazette does a very similar job. So I can't actually see too many areas where they are different. Maybe Giroud's a little bit better in the air.
Yeah, he's.
They are very similar players, Giroud and Lacazette.
I think it's one people forget. I think he had either 25 or 28 headers for us. We missed that aerial ability. It'd be nice to have that. I wanted to keep Giroud and get Lacazette, but that didn't turn out. That's the way I would have worked it. But
Um, BM Dolphin giving a nod to Gary from the last podcast. Spot on the other day, brother, about the Westbrook comments. You changed my opinion. Can't wait for our next superstar still. And Lombard Camp said Rafa Benitez does not like James Rodriguez, and Rodriguez wants to leave. I'd take him, and he'd be much cheaper than Madison. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, he would be much cheaper than Madison. I just don't know. James Rodriguez, he really, James Rodriguez, should say, um, started off last season really, really well, but like much of that Everton team, Tony, it kind of faded away.
yeah, if you want a cheaper option, just go with Odegaard, 35 million. You know what he does for the team. Seemed like he really liked playing for us. He probably liked playing for us more with the fans in the stadium.
Um, Gary was born in London, but lived most of his life in the U.S., first Florida, and now he's a Jersey boy.
Now he's in Maine mowing down lobster.
He's mainly in lobster. We let Giroud go and spend 50 large on a guy who can't put up better numbers or do the same role better. Facts. Can't really deny that. Correct.
I still like him.
You lived a hell of a life, Gary. And Gary, it's DWTT. Don't waste that trip. So Gary's not wasting a trip. He went, and specifically in Maine, he's not wasting that trip. He's getting himself some lobster up there.
Gary, don't fuck around.
Drew also kept Lacazette out of the France team. Yeah. BM Dolphin, listen, I look at the numbers and say, what, we have, 371 subscribers? I will sometimes think we could be doing a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
we wanted to go from 369 to 469 since Ray like 69.
yeah, listen, look at other channels. Maybe get a little bit envious, maybe not. But you know what? We're doing our own thing here, and we'll get there eventually.
Some people copy our beer of the show. Some people do this and that.
Yeah, listen, we try to be a little bit different. We can only be the people that we are. Um, I think we have a great panel together. We all bring something a little bit different.
The
We bring a
Tony
little.
Don Juan Awards that stay with us, though. Nobody's stealing that one.
Nobody's stealing the Tony Don Juan Man of the Match awards, which last season you were saying Gabrielle got quite a few of those. So listen,
Yeah.
BM Dolphin, this channel overall is dope. So if you have somebody you know in your life that likes Arsenal, tell them about it, bring them along. What we want to do is we have a community. We don't want to be the biggest on the block. We're not going to be the biggest on the block, but we do want to have the best group of people. And very happy you're here with us, BM Dolphin, of course.
And we like the commenters. We like the interaction there.
Interaction. Also, the other thing, I will tout a smaller channel. You put your comments up, they're going to get read. Most of the time, they're going to get focused on. You're going to get the interaction with us here. And I
You
think
don't know if Tony's coffee's hot, warm, or cold.
I was thinking about 3 years. I think we're going 3.5 years now. Close on 3 years we started this channel, and I was thinking, what's the best name? Circle of friends. As a circle, you circle wagons. You're strong. You can't let anyone come at you. You're protected. If the wolves are around you, you back up into a circle, right?
Yep.
So
We need more subscribers so you can sing that song that you owe me.
yeah. So Don Juan, thanks for joining as well. This is a chill and chat session. Thought we'd get together, have a little bit of time here to talk about Arsenal, talk about Ben White. Problem with Arsenal, Tony, is they give us something to be excited about. We get 50 million now. I can go into the nuts and bolts of the number four. I'm not particularly happy myself. I'm not ranting. I'm not raving about it. I'm not. I'm not particularly happy that. Okay, we can see now Saliba used to have that number four. Ben White has come along and he's been given the number four. I think it's a little bit disrespectful if somebody else, although he never played an actual competitive game for us, but he's our player for the last 3 seasons, and a 50 million pound player comes in, and that could be bad enough. But then he takes his number. Tony, what do you think about that?
I think it's gonna be funny if Saliba comes back next summer. He's gonna be considered a homegrown player, so he's gonna be more attractive to other English clubs if we do decide to sell him and not keep him, which sounds like we're gonna do. I don't think he really has a future for us. I've been saying that for 2 years now.
Yeah, Tony. BM Dolphin says great spice to the channel. Thanks for that compliment, BM Dolphin. Okay, see Thunder, happy for Westbrook, right?
I can go put my Westbrook shirt on.
You could indeed. You could indeed. Yeah. So listen, Saliba and Ben White. It's a tricky situation, but obviously, Arteta believes in the player he wanted to sign for 50 million, and not the player that was already there for 27 million.
I just, to me, I still don't know why we didn't go for Kanate. We scouted him for 3 or 4 years. He was one of our main options in. Ends up going for 37 million pounds. I like the White signing, but 50 million is just too much of an English tax on it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we do need some homegrown players to be able to sign some more players. So I think that's part of why we did it.
So Gary said, so is Ben White starting the season on the bench or on the field? Definitely on the field for me. I mean,
And he'll be
you spend
already
that
out there
amount of money,
training.
right, Tony? You spend that amount of money, he's not going to be sitting on the bench
I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a run out tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Ben, so excitement that Ben White is coming. It's signed, sealed, delivered since yesterday. Although Gary, it was July 16th, 15 days ago, when we knew it was going to be Ben White, our third signing of the season. Question is, we've got what, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, Tony, until we have the opportunity. Maybe we can get one more player in, and then we know till the end of the month to win those shots, right?
It'd be nice to get two more in before next Friday, give them a week to get into a team, or at least start on the bench the first
Yeah,
couple of weeks of the
for
season. But
sure. It
I
looks
think we'll
good
get.
though.
I
Looks
think we'll
good
only
though.
get one
Sorry.
in.
Looks good though for Ben White. He feels, Arteta's always said, want the player. We want players who want to be here, and that's what Ben White. He wanted to be here, and he was the right kind of profile of player. He had worked under Bielsa, which Arteta is very, very um, enamored with. The whole footballing world is enamored with Bielsa. So Ben White got that education, albeit in the championship with Leeds. He came up through with Brighton and has learned a lot this past season, probably under Graham Potter, who's another decent coach as well. Stan said Gary's memoirs will be available soon, pending Rowan finalizing some audio book deal with Amazon. Um, Don Juan, exactly right. The smaller Arsenal channels are the best. Can't stand the big channels, which have their agendas. Big channels want to generate drama. They want to generate clickbait. They want to generate things that are kind of Hollywood. You know what I mean? They want to do some drama stuff. They want to uh, fight with other channels, maybe create
And when I
content.
let certain body parts hang out,
So yeah, Don Juan, you're right. The smaller Arsenal channels are the best. They're the ones who are probably more dedicated. Well, I don't say more dedicated, but like feel like what they're doing is more of a hobby and not like they're trying to gather some cash. together.
Sometimes a hobby that lasts 4 hours an evening.
So this is what we're our available time is going to. We all realize we've all got busy lives. We've all got what I always say is more important: family, and happiness. And what makes you happy is more important. Uh, Hopefully, Arsenal can make us start to feel happy a little bit more as well, Tony. And you know that can be the third most important thing in our lives.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get rid of that song out of my head. I love you, but I don't know why. Hopefully I can start loving all everybody on the team. Love
Begin.
the
Well, maybe we'll do that again. We did that at the beginning of last season. Pick a song that reminds you of Arsenal, and that's the song you picked, right?
yep.
I think I picked a Daft Punk song. Can't remember what the name was. At least y'all ain't a bunch of actors. Yeah, what you see with us is what you get. If you look at some of our earlier stuff, BM Dolphin, while we knew what we were doing, maybe our maybe our tech savvy wasn't there. Maybe we were tripping over.
Tony does bring lots of props though.
Who does? Tony.
Tony brings props. I bring hats.
So BM Dolphin, if you stick with us, you're on a journey. You're going to learn each of our personalities as we go on. And
Learn the origin of
we're most
Davy Crockett.
definitely
You need
we're,
to learn the origin of Davy Crockett.
we're most definitely not actors. Sometimes we talk over each other, we interrupt each other, but we disagree on certain points, Arsenal related. At the end of the day, we forget about it and we move on because we're all here for one purpose. We're all here for Arsenal. We want to see this team um, get better again. You know what I mean? We're here. I'm not here for when Arsenal are winning. I'm not here. I am here for when Arsenal win the Champions League. I'm not here. I am here for when they win the league. But I also want to be saying that I'm going to be here when times are bad, and we can look back at it. Hopefully, if we win a league in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, notice I said 3, 4, 5 because it could take that long, unfortunately. We can look back and say, yeah, in 2020 or 2021, when things weren't so bad, we were still following Arsenal and we were still charting uh, the rise and the good times and the bad times of Arsenal. And that's what we're here for. At least y'all ain't a bunch of actors. And that ain't that the truth, Tony. We are not actors, that's for sure. Um, Stan, question mark. Okay, do a good job. LOL. Um, and you'll get to know everyone in the chat, so it's really an inclusive thing. Looks like Tony's having issues with his signal, so maybe can you hear me? Still, Don Juan says he's still worried about the central midfield position. As as am I, Don. We're getting way too close to the start of the season. Too many fake wannabe celebrities on the big channels. And the thing as well is, uh, listen, I like to be on social media, but I would urge everyone involved, to involve yourself in social media as something that adds to your life. Don't do it on the regular. For me, um, for me, everything in moderation for me. So I'm on social media in moderation. I don't want to be on there for clout. And some people will post things. Just maybe they'll post something outrageous to spark conversation. Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe they're just posting it for clicks. Um, Maybe they're doing it intentionally. They're just doing it for clicks. Maybe they're posting something outrageous because they know it will spark a conversation and get interaction, and they'll get more followers that way. But yeah, too many fake celebrities on the big channels. Can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, you're back. Listen, we want to shout out the good parts of AFTV and what Robbie has done. You can't argue that he has seen, at least in the early years, he saw something that was revolutionary. He he was innovative in what he did. He saw the future. He did it, um, and he brought characters on there, which I think generated some controversy and some publicity. For me, at some point in time, I left. I stopped watching that stuff. Um, and watching other fan channels as well, you see other fan channels bantering us Arsenal fans because of what they saw Don Robbie doing in the early stages. He was doing this before any other club channels were doing it. So sometimes when you're the biggest, you're up there to get shot down as well. And that's just maybe he accepts that's what it is as well. You know, I'll be so disappointed if Xhaka lines up for Arsenal next season. I don't care about having him having his best season after 5 years or having a good Euros. I just don't like or trust him. I also wanted to say what we were saying earlier, Tony. You could see Tierney kind of puff his chest up a little bit because maybe Granit Xhaka's. I have this theory: Granit Xhaka was taking some of the oxygen away from Tierney acting, and for me, this stems back to that Leeds game when Tierney had the issue with Alioski, and you know, Granit Xhaka. I thought the optics of that didn't look good. It looked like he was protecting Alioski.
He went
And
over there, picked him up, checked him out instead of checking on Tierney, defending Tierney. Is a bad look
it's a bad
to
look.
me. Zaka's always been bad egg. He needs to go. I don't care how little we get for him. He needs to go this summer. He
The
slows
only go ahead.
he slows down the tempo, the pace when he's out of it. We're a lot more open, a lot more free attacking, a lot more attractive football. With him in there, we're boring, slow, lots of back passes, lots of just going up the flank since we can't go down the middle with him. Just not a good look with him in the team.
And look, as Stan said, we've got Granit Xhaka in the team for the last 5 years, and whether it's a coincidence or not, we've not played Champions League football while he's been with us. Um, so has he improved us? Has he moved the needle forward for us in that position? He's been adequate. He's been decent, but
Has
he's
he
slowed.
improved any? I don't think he's improved any since he came here. He's still mistake prone, easy
Yeah,
to get
I
yellow and
don't think
red
he's
cards.
greatly improved. I think what has happened in the last season was that he was with a partner who was pretty decent, Partey, and Partey's not able to cover up all of Granit Xhaka's um, chinks, let's say, chinks in his armor. But Partey has been able to cover or cloak a lot of the bad in Granit Xhaka. And of course, we did see a couple of mistakes from Granit Xhaka. Most notably, for me, while Leno put him in that difficult position at Burnley, every professional footballer should be able to lift the ball over a forward to the right back, and to not be able to lift that ball up higher than Chris Wood and have a rebound off of his chest was one of the low points for us this season.
Yeah,
Um,
he could have kicked it out of bounds, kicked it to a couple of players. He had 4 or 5 options.
yeah,
Went with the worst one.
one
Like
thing,
Stan
one thing.
always mentions, he has the most mistakes leading to a goal. I think it's 8 or whatever it stands at now.
So there's a couple of things against Granit Xhaka. He's only been adequate for us for 5 years. He hasn't progressed forward. He's not going to get better. He's just not going to get better if we keep him. Um, I think he's taken some of the oxygen away from the natural leaders. Now that David Luiz has left, David Luiz was one of the leaders in that dressing room. David Luiz has left. We all see Tierney as that player who can move forward. I just think that Xhaka puts himself forward as that character, that big character, the first guy. He wants to be the first guy to start training and the last guy to leave training. And he's going to bring apples for Arteta, for the teacher every morning. So we want Tierney to grow. He's going to grow on the field as a player, but we want him to grow as and groom him as a potential captain. And whether it happens this season or not, uh, Granit Xhaka is somebody who maybe stands in the way of that happening for me.
Yeah, especially with how much importance Arteta puts on training. Zaka showing up early, staying late, doing all that stuff. It already builds him up after each game. I don't know why, if you're a leader, why you need to be built up like that. He needs to build up the young players, and I think Tierney would help cover up for young players,
That
take a
is
ball up from
another
them.
Tony. That's another obvious problem with Mikel Arteta. He looks at what happens in training too much. He looks at the experienced players and whether he knows that it's in them and he wants to bring it out, or he just feels like he's backed this person, like in terms of Willian. He's backed this player. He wants to make it happen. And he doesn't look on at the younger players and maybe some of the players that he's inherited from Unai Emery. He doesn't believe in them as much as players. You saw what happened with Pepe last season. It took him half a season to get into the team after Willian messed up the first 14 games, pretty much. So, young players, unless they're outstanding talents like Saka or Emil Smith Rowe, find it difficult to get into the team, especially if you're not an Arteta um, choice, you know.
Yeah, he's way too rigid, way too stubborn. He's seen what worked with in early January, late December with Pepe on the left, Lacazette in the middle, Saka out there on the right, Smith Rowe in there. Then he went away from it, started losing again, went back to it. We started winning, went away from it for a few games, and we started winning again. So it just, you know what works, stick with it, trust your young players,
Looking, looking.
and go. You
Actually,
interrupted
Tony,
me.
go ahead.
And going back to Emery, Emery knew all those old players under Wenger didn't have a quality, so he went with the young players. He wasn't playing the older players. He trusted the young players. He might have burned some of them out, but I think that's the way you need to go. We have a lot of young players. We're signing 23 to 25-year-olds, which we need to be targeting instead of a 29-year-olds or 31-year-olds
Hmm.
that's past their prime and just time to go young.
Sam said the only thing that will cheer you up, Tony, is a slap and tickle session with Chambers and Lacazette.
That might be
BM
that might be an X-rated thing, Sam.
Dolphin. As long as you got this DWTT guy, we're a fan of him as well. We're a fan of Gary too. Guy speaks facts. Gary actually joined us probably a year ago at this point. We were tomorrow. We would have been actually tomorrow a year ago. We
Whenever Martinez left,
tomorrow a year ago, we won the FA Cup, believe it or not, against Chelsea. So things were a lot different back then. We had Emi Martinez in goal, decent goalkeeper. I believe a better one in those 12 games. He showed it to be a better player than Bernd Leno. And of course, push came to shove, and Arteta made the decision to stick with um, Bernd Leno. So for me, I don't know. Sexy Sam is here. Davy Crockett, ain't he some war hero? So that's our nickname for you, Tony, Davy Crockett, because you wrestle bears. You're a tough old SOB, right?
yep, I'm a tough OSOB. Steven mentioned Davy Crockett. I went and got a fur hat, put it on. Been Davy Crockett ever since.
Tony's the
Yep.
prop guy. So Tony will bring out the props.
Lost my leg to a bear.
Yep. Yep. Tony, you did have a rough 9 months. So we do have a GoFundMe page for Tony. I'll bring up that banner. We got to get that needle moving as well for you, Tony. Get you. I think you're stuck on $975 over the last 9 months for. And I think the Arsenal community should get together and retweet and help get awareness out for you to get your prosthetic leg. You need a permanent prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
Those things are not cheap, Tony.
So far, it's right at 18,000, and that's just for the temporary one. The permanent one, probably another 20,000. And somewhere right now, my out-of-pocket cost is almost 5,000. My insurance cops out at 10,000, so if it goes over 10,000, I don't have to pay more than that. Like could be up to 10,000.
So listen, if you're on Twitter, you can look for me at Arsenal Circle. Twitter at Arsenal Circle. I have a pinned tweet of Tony's GoFundMe page. Get awareness out there. That would be brilliant. Get awareness out there, and if at all you're feeling generous, put a small donation in there or a big donation, whatever you can. Uh,
Or like Warren, make a bet, win, and give me a third of his winnings from his bet. That was the last donation I got.
Same way, exactly. So let's do this. We got to keep doing this season for you. We got to get you to where you're at, where you need to be. So you're able to chase after your two canine friends. You do have two dogs that you need to run around after as well, and you need a prosthetic leg to do that. Um, as Stan said, same with Ozil. He just rubbed me up the wrong way.
Yeah, I never liked him. I never liked fan favorite Sanchez either. He's one that I just never liked.
Joey Barton would have hated him to pull on an Arsenal shirt. Why? I just don't like him. Um,
Stan's going through every player he doesn't like.
that gas noise reminds me of Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet. Thanks, BM Dolphins. So listen, it's always brilliant to see the same old faces. They keep coming back.
And some
But
new ones.
it's also great as well, Tony, to get a new face and BM Dolphin here, and I think Michael a little bit earlier as well. AFT poop.
Poop
I
emoji.
agree. I agree. If Xhaka starts after a summer of him clearly dealing with Roma, then we can just throw the process in the bin because it would be a big fat lie. There is a question to be had there, um, Tony. If you criticize the club for not being able to deal really well in terms of getting players in the door and players out the door, um, shouldn't you also stand by the club for being a little bit having a tough stance, saying this is our minimum valuation of a player and we're not going to go below that?
Yeah, Dick Garlic, or as Sam likes to call him, Dick Lick. I think he's better negotiator. He's trying to get money for players. Unfortunately, a lot of it will probably happen the last week or 2 weeks of a window, and those players won't go before then. We'll start the season with them. I don't want to see that, but it's better if we get more money for them. Later it goes, the more money we'll get for them. And right now, if you look around, no team's really hardly signed anybody,
Yeah.
except for the newly promoted teams. They have 4 or 5 players, but other than that, everybody else 2, 3 new players, and some clubs have 0 in.
Yeah, and what you're seeing out there is Aston Villa. We call it BDS, right? Big dick swinging. Aston Villa out there are doing BDS, big dick swinging. But
Trademark for by Tony.
they're basically, yeah, Tony, you came up with that. They're basically spending the money they're going to get for Jack Grealish, right? Am I wrong there?
Now they're spending it ahead of time. They know they're just selling to be somewhere between 70 and 100 million.
Mhm.
Probably 80, be
So
my guess.
They've got two players. They got Leon Bailey today, and they had signed obviously Buendia from Aston Villa. So they're going to get two players for the one superstar Jack Grealish.
Yeah, and like I said, it's amazing. The team that should have been relegated if it wasn't for VAR came in, saved them.
Yeah. But you know what as well, and Gary here, right here, Gary DWTT, he always says Arsenal had a part in keeping Aston Villa up. We didn't go and take care of business the back end of that first season under
Nope.
Mikel Arteta. We didn't go and beat Aston Villa away from home. Even a draw probably could have put them down that season. We
That
didn't
would
go
have put
and
us
beat
2 away from a record.
We
15
gave them
drops.
a goalkeeper as well, Javi Martinez. We have been Aston Villa beneficiaries. Um, Gary said here, Xhaka push Kieran Tierney. No, no, can't touch my maybe future captain like that. No. Um,
He's his captain in his mind.
Cartelero FC BR. I think Don said, I think channels like AFT encourage a toxic culture for years. They push for negativity at the expense of the club. They introduce fake outrage and a reactionary culture. I don't know if it was fake, Don. Maybe it was. Maybe it was encouraged. But definitely when you're coming out of the stadium after a bad defeat, you're not in the best mindset to speak about it. And very often, Don, we always say here at Arsenal Fan Circle, we like to have a game on a Saturday so that we can have a post game on the Sunday because you can have some time to collect your thoughts and maybe a defeat is a defeat, right? But maybe you feel a little bit differently about it hours after the game. Emojis are one of the wankiest inventions by man, and that's why I use them every opportunity to
I like
highlight.
Tony emojis and Dave emojis.
Tony's are unique. I like Xhaka, but it's time to move on, Arsenal. And that's exactly true, Don Juan said. We know what Granit Xhaka is like. You could maybe say the same thing for Odegaard. Odegaard. We know what Odegaard is, but we liked it, and we didn't. We haven't seen 5 seasons of it. But we've seen. We know where Granit Xhaka is. The Arsenal luchador is here. Hola, Senor Xhaka eats dirty biscuits. Arriba.
That means Arsenal will win 4-0 tomorrow in the friendly since the luchador showed up.
No one likes the dirty biscuit.
Sam does. He
I
just don't want to
blame
admit
I blame Don Juan for Xhaka. His fault. That's what Sam says.
it.
I want to be sure I don't say that. Sam Greenwood, big up. The trust Arteta gives Xhaka would be welcomed by the rest of the team. Pepe, for example. Yep, it's not. I always say, Gary, he's a good coach. He may not be the best manager out there. Michael Arteta's got a lot of things to learn, Tony, in terms
Yeah,
of managership.
man management's number one. You shouldn't have to build up your supposed leaders like Zaka, like Louise. You should be building up players like Pepe. Pepe struggled. He wasn't getting played. Came in, started playing, did really well. Heard nothing from Arteta positive about him.
Gary is awesome. Sam is awesome. Taib's awesome. You're all awesome in here. Um, Taib Hussein, thank God Newman is asleep.
Sexy Sam's in the house.
Gary, you have a sexy bald head, a shiny one. LOL. Don Juan, Newman doesn't come in this chat. Yeah, we haven't seen Newman yet. I think I have seen Newman in other chats though, but I'm not familiar with his sense of humor. Gary, you're sexy as Danny Glover versus Neil deGrasse Tyson. Wow. Okay. All right, so if anyone has
Gary looks like Ian Wright. So
Arsenal related discussion, bring him forward. Bring him forward. Uh, so yeah, here's the issue as well, Tony. Here's a question I have for the chat, and here's a question I have for you, Tony. And maybe I said this already. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Could Arsenal be drawing the line here to toughen their stance and maybe scare or force Roma into paying what we want? I know that's a revolutionary idea, but is Arsenal maybe moving in the right way? We might not like it.
yeah, I
Some of
think that we've drawn our line in the sand. But what's funny, Tuesday or Wednesday, we're hearing that the deal was ready to go, and here yesterday, oh, now we're gonna give Zaka extension, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Don't know how much of that's theatrics, how much it's just us drawing a line in the sand. I think we're just trying to get the most out of the players we can, which is a nice change. Like I said, so far I think Nick Garlick's doing a good job negotiating. like to see more in by now, but it's hard to when you haven't got the players out.
Hmm. Sam said, Ray, if we won't let Saka go for the sake of a few million, then ask yourself, is that worth keeping that dirty biscuit? No, it's a catch 22. I totally understand what you're saying, Sam. And for the sake of a few million, um, but if we keep doing that, if we keep doing that for one player after the other, it's it's becoming known that Arsenal are weak in the transfer market. So at some point you have at some point you have to stop and make a stand. But do we have to do it with Granit Xhaka? You know, Taib said process culture, non-negotiables vanished into thin air. LOL. There's always that excuse of COVID and a pandemic. Taib.
Yeah,
Um,
and Arteta likes to use the excuse of no fans in the stadium hurts the teams. So
Economics, all that stuff. Don Juan will blow new life into this Arsenal team, and Newman will give him a hug. Jack Grealish to Manchester City deal is pretty much done, I think. I think we've all seen that photoshopped picture of Grealish at the Emirates, right, Tony?
yep, I think it's all just how much though the
And
fee
that,
is. I think it'll be closer to 80.
and again, that's some accounts just highlighting that they want the interaction, they want the sensationalism. We are here to talk about it, but we're not here to sensationalize things.
Odegaard.
Erdegaard, that's for Gary. He's practicing right now. He's got another season, hopefully another season of Odegaard to come. Tybe is Arteta out, and listen, Tybe, I may be on board with you in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games to come.
That's a wide range of games there.
Well, I'm giving him till the end of October. I'm giving him the first 10 games. Bellerin and Jack out. I can't disagree with that. Definitely let Arsenal move forward, and we can't move forward without these kind of players.
I'd give him until whenever the second international break is in October. I don't know what week that is this year.
Don Juan's right here. Arsenal buy at peak value and sell for peanuts.
We don't even sell for peanuts.
If Xhaka and Bellerin start versus Brentford, I'm hitting the nuclear button, and that's calling Sleepy Joe either. All right. So listen, we caught up to the chats here, so keep them coming. What happened with Ozil? What happened with Ozil? Guy was a legend. So he was a legend when he came here. But
Sanchez left, and that was the end of his career.
yeah, literally met all of your chances.
And Sanchez's career ended when he didn't have Ozil.
We saw what happened last season, Tony, when we didn't have the creative force in our team. We didn't see it improve until Emil Smith Rowe came into the team December 26th. So, that's what a creative player can do for a team. It can really help push up those chances created and goals scored.
Yeah, we're still looking for another creative attacker. I don't know what Arteta sees Smith Rowe's role as, but it's not as an out and out cam. Hopefully, we get Odegaard. I think he really helped with creativity, helped us push forward, helped with tempo. Pretty good holding up the ball.
And Sam said Ozil turned into a lazy sack of crap. Um, so we talked about Granit Xhaka. Listen, we'll see what happens. Some of us are thinking it's good that the club are taking. Granit Xhaka is going to be the hill that Arsenal die on.
It's been almost 7 weeks since we celebrated him leaving on the show, right?
We've been continuously celebrating Granit Xhaka moving on, and not so much him moving on, but the club can move forward. Let him move on. Let the club move forward. Let us get somebody else in. Um, well, my question is, Granit Xhaka, he's the negative in the week. Uh, the same day, the positive was Ben White coming in for 50 million, and we talked about him a little bit. But what I want to talk about specifically, Tony, is the PR machine of Arsenal. And did you see the video they put together of Ben White, where it
Driving
was
through traffic.
driving through traffic and excuse me, I'm late, and it's got like echoes of what happened to Aubameyang in the North London derby, right?
Yep, does that mean he's getting the captain's band starting straight off?
No, Ozil was useless. That's why Emery used Torreira for the forward. How's Ozil doing for Fenerbahce? I heard he's been useless there too. But he created so many chances, he can't be useless.
He
I
was
think
without Sanchez.
I think he got to a point in his career, beyond Dolphin, where he achieved a lot in his career, and he came to Arsenal. And I'm sorry, the culture at Arsenal was not the best toward the end of Wenger's years. Wenger excused a lot of things that Ozil wanted. Ozil was given time off, and he was excused a lot of things. Even Aaron Ramsey said that he was a teacher's pet. You created so many less chances when he was here, and that's true. We did create less chances when he was not in the team, but I think Ozil was winding his career down with Arsenal. We got into a situation where both Sanchez and Ozil's um, contracts were coming at the same time, Tony, and PR wise, we could not lose both of them.
I still think that's a bullshit thing. I think we should have got rid of both of them. I never liked Sanchez. I didn't like him leaving the dressing room after he got subbed off before any of the players got there. He always had a negative attitude. He was one of the ones that started the division in the locker room. He's a bad apple like Ozil was, Zuck is. We got to get rid of all those. I think that's why we're targeting players 23 to 25, some of them captains for the country, captains for their current club or former club.
Mm.
I think that's just what type of people we're finally and should have been pursuing a long time ago.
BM Dolphin said, "You guys hype up Arteta like he won a World Cup." I'm probably the only one who is optimist, maybe mostly optimistic about Arteta. Sometimes
Tony
I'm
passed out drunk in the train, went along for
sometimes
the
I'm
ride.
realistically optimistic about him, but I think a coach. He was a coach at the time when he won the FA Cup. I think you have to have some promise if you win a trophy in your first season at a club. He's obviously inspired David Luiz, who is a warrior. He's won a lot of things in his career. He inspired him. He inspired Aubameyang, who scored big goals against City and Chelsea on the way to winning that cup. He even inspired Danny Ceballos to a decent performance against Sheffield United away from home. Um, yeah, so I've hyped up Arteta a little bit. I'm a little bit disappointed. At this time last season, he changed tact a little bit. He didn't recognize that Martinez was his best goalkeeper. He should have ran with Martinez. In my opinion, now I I wanted to keep both keepers, but now we can see maybe Berlino is not committed to Arsenal as much as we thought he was, and Arteta has stuck by him. Arteta stuck by some players, Tony, that he didn't. Hindsight's going to show that he shouldn't have, and he didn't need to.
I'll still defend Leno. He never had a solid back four. Arteta was playing Russian roulette with a back four, kept switching center backs, kept switching the full backs. Never really had a set amount of players back there. Leno's really only fault I've ever found on him is being vocal, commanding the troops as far as shot stopping and the rest of his game. He's pretty good. We'll see what happens with a new goalkeeper coach. We'll see what happens if we play with a solid back four, which we don't think we'll
Yeah,
be changing around much this
and
season.
I think when you hear 36 times last season, the lineup was changed 36 times. It was only one time or two times they had the same lineup in the league. It's different, you know. BM Dolphin, I think, is a Palace fan, so I'm going to be following Palace as well as my second team this season. My bad, your fan base hypes up Arteta like that. I love Palace. Wish we never signed Saka or Benteke, but Ozil is different gravy. And I think that a Palace fan maybe could appreciate Ozil, and
Or
our
appreciate how much I sell Selhurst Park on the show.
yeah, Arsenal have been there, and we want to get back to where we were 18 years ago. Um, I'm Arteta in two, says Don. One, I have a small sliver of hope. Stan also. We are sort of sticking with him till the end of October. That'll be 10 games. I think Tony 10 games will be enough for us to know whether Arteta is going to move forward with Arsenal or not.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit too many games. I think 7 or so. I think that's what we'll have in before the second international break in October. See what we are then. If we're in the bottom half of the table or even eighth, I'd say eighth or lower, he has to go.
Tony, Don Juan wants to switch tact a little bit. Can we please discuss the most important thing, Bob Holding's hair? He just went for the full-on shave, right? So he started
Yep.
losing hair, and you know what? If that happens to me, I might possibly do that as well. Go on for the full. Just accept the fact.
You just need a damn haircut, you hippie.
I didn't get a hair. I still have my COVID hair. I have. I don't know when I've got a haircut
I
last.
miss Chambers' COVID hair, his little curly locks and his beard.
Well,
It's
Rob
more important
Holding,
than Holding's
are you a
bald look.
fan of? Are you a fan of Rob Holding's look?
I don't know, it seems like that's what all bald guys do now. Just get rid of all of it.
Does
No
he look?
bald spot.
Makes you look maybe a little bit more intimidating. You think that's the effect?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, listen. I want to get back to the PR of Ben White, saying he got lost, he got caught up in traffic, and we're going to be probably another 5 or 10 minutes here, and we're going to get out of here. You look at the start of this podcast; it was nice and bright behind Tony. Now darkness, the start of the fall. You
And
know,
there's a nice thunderstorm off that way, but you can't see it.
I've noticed you looking around a little bit nervously. Yeah, if you need to go. If safety is of paramount to you, we always say safety is number one.
And it's about 10 miles away. I'm safe.
If you can hear thunder, you can get hit by lightning. You know that, right?
I can't hear it, so I'm safe.
Yeah. So listen, what I was gonna say, we've done probably 85 minutes here, Tony, and
Fucking
when you
people still shooting off fireworks. 4th of July was 3 weeks ago.
I think there's no concept anymore of when holidays are. People just have fireworks. They keep buying them, and they keep setting them off. Um, what I was going to say is when you get together with a group of friends on a stream like this, time just seems to fly by, and I can't believe we've been talking for nearly 90 minutes now, Tony. So listen, we're going to wind it up soon, but this is what it is when you get together, you speak. Our flight is about to come down. We're getting ready. We're
Have
getting
a little turbulence,
we're
storm
getting
coming in.
prepared. Getting prepared.
Fireworks to the right.
We've got some thunder and some fireworks, so we have to prepare for landing here. Um, any last chance for drinks? Ask a question in the chat section. Beverages, all that good stuff. And do know we will be back tomorrow as well. We didn't actually have time really to preview the Chelsea game too much, but wanted to just finish on the PR of Arsenal, and it kind of annoyed me a little bit that they played up Aubameyang, whether it's intentional or not. They played up Aubameyang's being late and caught in traffic, and they tied that in with Ben White coming from Brighton.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they came up with that idea at. If it was a stab at Uba, what the point was, but I just liked him saying that he's ready. Hopefully he is.
And
And
that's good club.
everything in the interviews I read of him, I liked saying the right things. So hopefully he's ready to
Local
come in.
Local militia training close to Tony.
Might be.
Tony hoping for a twister, something something. Sounds like a war zone over there, Tony. I think the Brits are coming again, Tony.
It might be.
All right, so listen, I think we'll wind it up. You've all been brilliant. It's been great to catch up. This was an Arsenal fan circle extra. We'll stick around a couple more minutes, but then we'll wind it up.
We'll see if Tony gets hit by lightning or a firework.
Yeah, we better wind it up in the interest of safety.
It's
Um,
far enough away, Ray. I'm safe.
okay, so listen,
But
what I call stage one of preseason was Scotland, the Braveheart series, let's say, and then everybody came home. The troops
William
came
Wallace
home.
came home.
The troops came home for part two. They played behind closed doors against Millwall and Watford.
Do you think Tierney would be William Wallace?
Exactly. Part three starts tomorrow. It's Chelsea first and then that lot. And thanks, Gary. Great show, Ray and Tony. Uh, we just decided to take this one up into the air, take everyone for a quick flight.
Are you saying that because of a fireworks or Braveheart?
Because of Braveheart. Freedom's Braveheart.
Freedom's a fireworks.
And if you see that movie, that battle sequence in Braveheart was filmed literally 5 miles away from my old home in Ireland, in the Curragh of County Kildare. That's where the location was, and yeah, I recognized that area. It was all closed off, and they had some of the army become extras in that movie. So
Yeah.
Braveheart was
Let's
filmed.
plug Twister. Part of Twister was filmed 2 miles away from where I am.
Yeah, we don't want to see a literal twister happen to you. So
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen tonight. It's not been enough sunlight today. It's been
um,
overcast most of the day.
yeah, so listen, just to sign out, Arsenal, the only club we know that could give us the elation, Tony, of a 50 million signing and then take it away with. By the way, Granit Xhaka is staying, and Granit Xhaka is getting a pay rise also.
Yeah, and supposedly El Mini was also in on getting a contract extension. I don't know if all that's
And
made up by the media, made up by Arsenal, trying to drive up the price. But we'll find out soon. But like I said, Tuesday or Wednesday, it was my news was the deal is close or almost done with Zaka. Now all of a sudden, I don't know, it's just stupid to squabble over a couple million euros or pounds, like we
yeah,
did with Tierney, dragging it on all summer.
and
So it's just sell him.
while
He's
I
not good
don't
enough.
care,
Let's get rid of him.
I don't care about. We shouldn't care about the money spent, but I'm going to say that Arsenal is like Moneybags FC. We're going to keep you Granit Xhaka. Oh, and we're going to give you more money as well.
It would be Arsenal to do that if they do that. That's why it's so dark. We started nice and bright. Now we're talking about us not getting any money for
Yeah,
players.
it's very
Got
Arsenal.
fireworks going off, lightning going off.
All
No
right, so
thunder yet.
listen, we better wind it up there. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you had a boarding pass and you're leaving and you haven't slapped that like button, hit the like button if you got a boarding pass.
Time
Because
to sit down, put your trays upright. We're coming in for a quick landing.
coming in for a quick and hard landing with some turbulence, and we better get this flight crew member out of the danger zone. So listen, join us tomorrow. We will be reviewing the Chelsea game and what happened tomorrow. So
I said that'll be on ESPN so
I
we can
hope
watch it.
so. I didn't
I
see
haven't looked yet.
anything. I didn't see anything on it, but hopefully we'll find it somewhere. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button. Tony, thanks for being with me tonight. Good fun, and everybody in the chats. Really great to have you. A couple of new faces in there. Tony's getting Vietnam flashbacks. Uh, well, be good. We'll see you next time, which will be a few short hours away, probably 14 hours from now. Talk to you then. Come
Hi,
on,
everyone.
let's beat those Champions Leagues winners tomorrow because that's
Yeah,
what we
let's beat those big dick swingers. See if we can swing our dick